You're listening to Finding the Truth with Myke Hideous. All right, folks. Thanks for sticking around. Finding the Truth with Myke Hideous. I am your host, Myke Hideous, and my co-host and engineer and partner in crime, Mr. Professor Z.
Yes, I am a Mr. and a Professor. That's all in the same person. That's me.
So we're going to do a segment right now called, we're going to get off the hard, complicated topics, and we're going to do a little a little segment that I like to call Did You Know? We've done it before. We're going to go with it now. All right, so about a week ago, I posted something on my Facebook page, my Hideous fan page, which I normally do. I always mark down anniversaries of interesting things. So I believe it was, well, it doesn't matter. It was a week ago. It was the anniversary of the first time Edison's film called Frankenstein was released. If I remember correctly, I think it was the 18th of March. It was released in 1910. And so here's the interesting thing. Many people believe, and it has been taught so, that Thomas Edison created the contraption to project moving pictures on a screen. Even though Edison released his film Frankenstein in 1910, there is a man who, according to the books, actually created the contraption for making films, movies, moving pictures before Thomas Edison did it. And his name was Louis Le Prince. And basically, he created this thing, and there was a big dispute between Edison and himself, and Le Prince. Here's the deal. Le Prince ended up disappearing without a trace in 1890. Okay, disappeared. Thomas Edison took credit for being the first and sole inventor of cinema. However, he even took the court case to the son of Le Prince, and they had to battle it out in court. And they basically, Edison disputed the fact that Le Prince's son, who was standing up for Le Prince, was stating that Le Prince was the one who created it. But Edison said no. So, turns out Edison won the court case and was noted as the inventor of cinema. A few years later, the son of Le Prince was found dead with a fatal gunshot wound to his head under mysterious circumstances. I got this information from Morbid Facts, and there you go. So I don't know if did you ever know that did you know that Thomas Edison was not the inventor of cinema?
Well, interesting that you brought up the whole story, because I actually, as a kid, got to go to Edison's laboratory in Edison. And my dad took me there, and I got to see the entire thing. So I became fascinated with Edison at that point. But I did actually...
Before you go on, can I interrupt you 1 second?
Sure.
If I'm correct, didn't Edison live in Paterson, New Jersey at some point?
Possibly. I don't recall that point.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't recall that point.
I figured you might know if you knew about Edison.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the very least, from the standpoint of his factory, I mean, it's an amazing tour to see the building and his library and the first sound stage, or I guess one of the first, however you want to get into that conversation. But still, where they shot a great train robbery and stuff like that. So it's just an amazing thing to see where his genius and invention did take place. Excuse me. Sadly, he did have a darker side, like you're pointing out, and we can get into the whole conversation between him and Tesla, and how he, in one movie that he created, he showed how DC current was so deadly. He killed an elephant.
Oh my God,
So
that's when I hated him. That's when I
right,
hated him. They ran an article in Weird New Jersey magazine about that very event and showed
hmm
the pictures of that poor elephant being electrocuted in front of
yep.
people. And from when I saw that, I lost all respect. And not only elephants,
Well,
dogs, cats, horses, all kinds of animals. He had
yeah, yeah.
fucking
Well,
electrocuted them.
not to mention, it moved on to being used for human beings because that's what they decided to use that technology
Hey
for.
man, you can kill
But
human beings
regard,
for all you want, forever, for all I care. But when you
well,
start killing innocent animals for a test that you know is going to be devastating, I have no respect for you anymore. So
I
fuck you,
understand that.
Edison.
I understand that, and that's a very modern perspective. Back in the time though of the 1900s, people did not have that same respect for
Sure
animals,
they
and
did.
certainly,
Of course
no, they
they
didn't.
did. Yes,
No,
they
they didn't
did.
because
I
they
can
mostly
prove it
hunted
because
them to
I
eat.
have books on people who were famous people. Look at Thomas Paine. Paine.
Sure,
What's it? Thomas Paine?
but
What's
anyway,
the
we're a little
guy?
bit off topic. But dude, but
Well,
my
I'm just
point
trying to
is that
tell you, there are people out there who, for many, many, many decades, centuries, I should say, who have been
sure,
animal supporters. So
I
you
get
can't
that.
say that there are people that it was a different time.
I
Electrocuting a
can
fucking
because it's
elephant.
still because
No, I disagree.
I'm still making a point here, is that over time people have become more sensitive and more concerned for animals well-being as well as other humans well-being. 100 years ago in the 1900s, people did not have the same consideration for one another, let alone the animals they had to deal with or wanted around, because they were really just seen as commodities. But I don't really want to get deep into that part of it. Edison, with that whole story that you brought up about the film projector, I did see something about that in the last couple of years. So as you were telling me that story, it did become familiar to me. And I do recall how it is obviously very concerning how, like, the guy disappeared off of a train,
Mm,
and how he was obviously in direct competition with Edison over a major piece of technology that would obviously
mm-hmm.
shape the future. So it certainly is very suspect. It goes down definitely in one of those mysteries. I was rather surprised to hear it as well. I still have to have some respect for Edison's genius at the very least, even though his personality may have been shit. You could say
Mm-hmm.
the same thing for Henry Ford. I mean, he obviously created an amazing system for creating cars and affordably for everybody to have, but he was, anti-Semitic, and he was a racist asshole. So, I mean, that's the reality of that too.
Yeah, I just wanted to let people know that Edison was actually not the man who invented cinema.
hmm
Yes, he was a genius, so on and so forth. But I, if anybody gets a chance, if you want to see Frankenstein, the Thomas Edison version from 1910, you can find it online. If you love black and white silence like I do, you'll love it. Plus, they remastered it, so it's actually really quite clear. Um, I think there might be some footage missing, but for the most part, it's been redone. Excellent. Check it out. Dragonflies are the most efficient hunters on planet Earth, with a 95% success rate when hunting prey, which is higher than any other creature on Earth. They can literally read the future. And by that, I mean they observe their prey. So, in other words, if a dragonfly is sitting on a flower or the stem of a plant and it's watching a fly around, it sits there and observes its prey. It's fixated on on its movements and future locations. They can memorize all of a creature's movements in the mere seconds. That, in other words, for us to take time to figure something out may take a couple minutes, may take a few seconds, couple minutes, even a day or a week. But a dragonfly figures this all out of its prey in a second, in a mere second. Um, And once they learn the movements of their prey and the predictions, they can intercept it in midair with precise accuracy. They can also soak water into their body and then excrete it from their backside for a speed boost during flight. And I've seen footage of it, and it's like they poop and they shoot this water out of their behind, and it propels them even faster than what they're going. I mean, you've seen dragonflies, right? You know what they're
sure, but
capable
I
of,
didn't
right?
know that they got a boost from poop propulsion.
I know, isn't that crazy? And again, they take the
Sure.
water, they literally take the tail end of their body and they dip it into the water like so, absorb the water into the elongated part of their body, start flying, and it could be for whatever reason. Could be hot, could be thirsty. I don't know. Maybe just want to cool off his butt. They start flying, and if they see prey that they want to catch and they can't get to it quick enough, they will excrete the water from their body, the liquid from their body, which gives them a propelling motion, if you will, for lack of a better term. Pretty interesting, huh?
Fascinating. I
It
didn't know
is.
that. No,
I know you're not
that's
as into
amazing.
bugs as I am, but see,
No, no.
dragonfly right there.
Or poop propulsion. I think that's a unique, natural evolution thing. So definitely interesting.
This was the third tattoo I ever got. Dragonfly.
Very
I
cool.
think they're amazing. Anyhow,
Does it give you a boost of propulsion when you need it?
oh, I don't need the tattoo to give me a boost of propulsion. All I need to do is just get rid of those macaronis that I ate before, and I'm out. Anywho, did you know if you okay, actually this is not really a did you know. This is more it starts out with a question. So, Professor Z, if you had to choose the number one creature that kills the most humans every year, which would you pick? I'll give you three, I'll give you five choices. Pick whatever you want.
Well, I just have one really. It's hippo.
Good call, but no.
Okay.
They do kill a lot of people, you're right. And in Africa, not in America, because we don't really have them roaming around here.
Really, I hadn't noticed.
Oh, you haven't?
uh,
Well, you might want to keep your eyes open for like
I
hippo
guess so.
crossing or something.
Um,
So pick
damn.
another one. That's one.
Well, I guess mosquitoes could maybe be the next thing. Given the fact that
Bingo.
carry so much
Bingo.
disease. Yeah.
Mosquitoes kill more humans than humans kill humans. In 1 year,
Well, that's why I don't
humans,
like them.
me neither. I kill them as soon as they land on me. I'm like, oh, you want to suck my blood? Die! And that's the end of their life. So, people killing other people in 1 year, 475,000 people are killed by other human beings. Mosquitoes kill 725,000 people per year. Mosquitoes kill more people in 1 day than sharks do in 100 years.
Well, that I'm not surprised because sharks really don't take that many people per year.
That's right. As a matter of fact, I think one of the, I can't remember what the exact number was, but it was something like they said, I'm just going to throw the number out there. Don't quote me on this number, but I'm just trying to tell you how I heard it. The guy said sharks kill, let's say, 50 people a year,
Less than
whereas
that I've heard.
people kill up to 1,000 sharks a day.
Oh, well, that's a different scenario. But yes, we can get into violence against sharks sometime.
There is more than 3,000 different species of mosquitoes. Only a few kill humans.
I like the science stories I've heard out of Florida, which talks about how they've been able to start introducing they've been breeding mosquitoes, and they're breeding them so that they will not be able to reproduce,
Mm-hmm.
and so that way they can try and basically kill off populations, and it's seeming to actually do be working.
Mm.
um,
The thing with that is mosquitoes are a serious source of food for other animals, particularly bats, amphibians like frogs, lizards, a lot of aquatic animals down in the southern regions of the Americas, as well as birds. Uh, in
huh.
fact, I've even seen hummingbirds right on my porch going after mosquitoes, as well as
Well,
uh,
since this
titmouses
plan
and black-cap chickadees.
since this plan effectively just targets the genetics of, they're breeding generations of mosquitoes that basically cannot reproduce. So, in that sense, I'm sure the ecology, there's other things that those species eat. So, I mean, if somehow mosquitoes weren't on the list anymore, we'll have to see what effect that is. But
Mm.
since the greater good is going to be saving lives, as you're just pointing out with your whole story, that seems to be the better thing to do than spraying, toxic chemicals
Pesticides,
all
right?
over, the
Do you know
countryside.
one of the reasons the mosquito population grew so greatly was because of the decimation of the bat population back in 2007 from white nose fungus, which decimated the bat population from Canada to Mexico. Millions upon millions upon millions of bat species died as a result of this devastating disease called white nose fungus. And I only know this because I know a bat specialist in New Jersey by the name of Joe D'Angeli. We call him the Batman. He's a friend of mine. And he's an official bat biologist, I guess you would call it, a studier of animals. He's legally able to breed and keep in his house all types of bats. He's got flying foxes, fruit bats, vampire bats, like all kinds of bats, and it's all because he does these shows and everything and so on and so forth. My point is this: so when the bats died out by the millions, the pest uh, species of the species, I should say, of all types of pests began to increase because there was nothing to eat them. I mean, not only did these bats die from white nose, but in some cases had to be killed because they didn't want bats coming out of one particular bat cave to spread the disease to other bats, and they literally had to cull them. And it just breaks my heart because these is as frightening as these animals may be to certain people, they are extremely important to the ecology of our world.